Hello, and welcome to Business Focus, produced by the Greater Reston Chamber of Commerce. My name is Angela Inzerillo with Impact Business Solutions, and I'm privileged to be your host as we highlight some of the great work our local businesses are doing. Today, we have a fabulous lineup of guests, so stick around. We're first going to start off with the chair of the Chamber's Valor Awards Committee, Mr. Barry Bigger of Visit Fairfax. Next, we'll be speaking to the president and CEO of Leadership Fairfax, the one and only Miss Karen Cleveland. And finally, we'll be speaking with one of our newer members, Craig Green of Team Logic IT. Let's go meet them. So for our first guest, please welcome Mr. Barry Bigger, president and CEO of Visit Fairfax. So if you don't know Visit Fairfax and you don't know Barry, well, I don't know if you're living under a rock, but they are the tourism organization for Fairfax County. But Barry is here today to talk about the Reston Chamber Valor Award. So yes, Barry, welcome.
Well, Angela, always a delight to be with you, to see you. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Well, you are fabulous. Thank you.
And although Visit Fairfax is really all about tourism, the Valor Awards are a very, very important part of us to say thanks to all of our first responders, not only to take care of our residents, our companies, our children, but also our visitors, because we all forget at any one given day here in the county, we can have as many as 200, 300,000 additional people who don't live here, but rely on our first responders for their security. So Visit Fairfax is the official destination marketing organization for the county, of which, of course, Reston plays such a vital role. And in 2019, tourism to Fairfax County was $3.6 billion in the economy. So our role is to go market, promote, and sell the county and everything it offers, to have visitors come experience it, and then go home and tell everyone they know how wonderful a place it is.
Well, that is absolutely fabulous. I mean, I know that this Valor Awards has been going on for a number of years. How many to be exact?
Well, we celebrated the 43rd annual Valor Awards this year. So it has been going on for 43 years. It actually originated in the Fairfax County Chamber of Commerce, now known as the Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce. And it was really a way for the business community to say thank you to our first responders for everything they do. We always have to remember Fairfax County is the safest county of its size in the U.S. We don't get there by chance. We're there because of our first responders. So the Chamber 43 years ago recognized it, and we have been doing it every year for 43 years. Unfortunately, only 2 of those years we haven't been able to gather in person, but it is so essential to say thank you to these people who put themselves in harm's way each and every day to ensure our safety, our security, and a place that we call home, and that we're very grateful for being able to go around whenever and however we wish. So that's really long term how it came about and where we are today. So even though we haven't celebrated it in person for the last 2 years, we have continued to recognize our first responders, but we've had to do it virtually. Now, the other thing I will say is our first responders do not do what they do for recognition. They don't wake up every morning and go, today I'm going to be a hero. They actually shy away from the recognition, but we have to say thank you because we say it every day to our military.
Yes.
What they do to protect our freedom in this country. But we don't stop a police officer to say, thank you for everything you do every day.
And they're so appreciative of when you do it. They have appreciated all that the Reston Chamber has done for these Valor Awards. How did Reston get involved this year?
Sure. Well, the Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce has really taken the lead over the years. However, as a result of their, vision change, mission change, which we all do every now and then, the Valor Awards didn't quite fit the model. However, Julie Coons was absolutely adamant that it didn't go away.
Absolutely.
We actually, as Visit Fairfax, have been a sponsor of the Valor Awards for many, many years. So she came and asked us if we would take it on. However, we don't have the internal mechanism to put on events. We attract events. So we really couldn't do it. So the Reston Chamber, Julie reached out to Charles. Charles recognized the significance and the importance, and they took it on. And 2021 was the first year that Reston Chamber is the Valor Awards presenter. And I'm looking personally forward to many years ahead because Charles and the entire team for their first year have done an outstanding job. And really, for any of the membership of the Reston Chamber and even non-members, particularly the businesses, the Valor Awards are the greatest opportunity for you on behalf of all your employees to say thank you. Thank you for keeping all the people who travel into work every day safe. Thank you for all who live here, keeping them safe. And thank you for giving us a safe county to do our business.
Well, Barry, you have stated it absolutely perfectly. And thank you for all you do with the event and participation and obviously support of it. What we'll do is we'll scroll up the Chamber's website that has the details, because I'm sure there's many opportunities for members and the community to get involved and support this great event. So as you said at the beginning,
humbling and a high honor. We should all be motivated by that.
Agreed. Very much agreed. So for my next guest, please welcome the one, the only, Ms. Karen Cleveland, President and CEO of Leadership Fairfax, and one of my most favorite people that I've met through the Reston Chamber. Karen, welcome.
Oh, thanks, Angela. Great to be here.
Yeah, it is great to see you. And I'm excited to see you in person very, very soon. We're getting there. We're there. So
ready for it.
I know I think we all are. So, Karen, you, I don't know. I just think you're a staple in the community. You've been around for a little bit of time. But why don't you share like a little bit about your history in the community and of course your involvement with the Reston Chamber?
Sure. Be happy to do that, Angela. I grew up in Ohio where everyone was involved in the community. And then when I moved here in the 80s, I just started looking for a way to get involved.
Yeah.
So one of the first things I did was join the Chamber of Commerce and was on a committee. And it was the Board of Commerce back then, and it had just started and there was no staff. So after a year of being on a committee, I was invited to become the first executive director of the Reston Chamber. And what a treat that was, because we were all young and we were all learning.
Yeah.
And you know what the difference between Reston Chamber and so many others. It's a chamber with a heart. It is the chamber that was born to be part of a community, not
absolutely
apart from it. So I felt very fortunate to grow up there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love the way you say that, a part of it or a part. Yeah, that's a great distinction. And that's the first thing we did when we started our business. They're like, join your local chamber. And it got us involved from a business perspective, but more so from a community perspective, which absolutely helped us grow both personally and professionally. So yes. Yeah. So you've been quite a bit involved. And so so what you're currently doing now at Leadership Fairfax, which is another great organization tied very well with the chamber, and many folks have been through the program. But why don't you share a little bit about, for people that don't know, which I'm surprised, but there probably are, a little bit about, Leadership Fairfax, kind of who you guys are and what you do.
Great. Well, leadership organizations like ours, we're actually community leadership development organizations. We're born in the 80s because people started scratching their heads and they finally figured out that we could develop leaders. Mm-hmm. But then the question was, who are the leaders and do we have the right people at the table? So organizations like ours were born because we realized in order to build sustainable communities, mm-hmm. we needed to have people from large and small businesses, government and institutions, as well as nonprofits at the table. So all those varying perspectives. So we were born to bring people together, to develop them as community leaders, and then connect them long-term so that they would be engaged in the community. Mm-hmm. What we found, though, Angela, is that by helping people develop as community leaders, they became much more valuable assets to their own organizations.
Absolutely.
And happier people, more well-rounded. So it's been a win-win all the way around.
So who's ideal candidate? Because I know you have a number of programs, but who's ideal that you're looking for or that works well in the programs?
So for our signature program, which was the first one that we developed, we're looking for people that are already experienced, more senior leaders in their organizations.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So people that are established. Then they come into our program and they really take a deep dive into the issues facing our community. Mm-hmm. But the other thing that we do, and each organization around the country has a little bit different way of approaching this. And we developed about 10 years ago a coach approach. So you're involved in coaching. Yes. So you know that becomes a very personalized, personal growth element to the work that we do. And that's what really is unique to Leadership Fairfax. So that's our signature program, more senior level people.
Yep.
And we developed an emerging leaders program that we're changing the name. And I'm trying to remember if we've actually decided. So I won't share that.
Don't announce it just yet. Yeah.
I know. It will still be called ELI, but the idea is this is for people a little more junior in their careers who are, and it's not age specific, but it's for people that are just starting to manage people and projects.
Nice. Yeah.
So it's a little more skill focused, but they do work on a project for a nonprofit. So they really get to understand what the needs are in the community and how a nonprofit can make a difference.
Yeah. And I think getting folks early in their career or like you said, it's kind of early stage, doesn't necessarily mean, the 20 somethings of the world. So I think that's a great expansion and opportunity. I'm going to eventually not ask this question, but I have to ask. because I believe it probably expanded your program. But, there were probably some challenges that you faced during the pandemic, right? But I feel like you probably thrived from it a bit with some opportunities that expanded the learning.
Yeah, it was hard to get to the thriving place.
Yeah.
As you know, back in March of 2020, we were all just caught off guard. And I'm an eternal optimist, so I kept thinking it was going to last a month or two.
Oh, yeah, you and me
we'd
both.
all be back together.
Yeah.
So that pivot, which became the word of the year,
yes,
really forced us to learn how to thrive in a virtual world. And it was interesting when we debriefed the year with the participants in our cohorts, and they said one of the benefits for them was to learn how to build relationships in a virtual environment.
Yeah.
And then this year we were virtual the entire year, and we felt like we got really good at it. So we've learned from that, and we're going to incorporate certain elements going forward, and probably will never go back to a fully in-person learning environment.
I think the opportunity to, like you said, experience virtual, probably get some resources that wouldn't normally be here for the students was actually, a great opportunity. I know we've incorporated a lot within the chamber for committee meetings and programming that are going to definitely continue because it was an improvement.
Oh my gosh. And think about getting really good quality speakers who, if they had to show up somewhere, the difficulty of that amount of time. So we just felt like we were really honored this year to get even stronger speakers that could literally zoom in and zoom out.
There you go. That's great. Yeah.
And also to be able to capture it on video and use it long term for the organization is just a huge benefit of this year.
Yeah, fabulous. Well, as we, this time always like flies by, but as we wrap up, and this is one thing that if you're ever around any alumni of Leadership Fairfax, it is a huge benefit. And I just wanted you to share it. Going through the program is huge in and of itself for personal development, but I feel like there are some huge benefits to once you become an alumni. So could you share that as we wrap up here?
Absolutely. A huge part of our mission is connecting people. And once you've been through one of our programs, you are undoubtedly going to get more involved in the community.
Yeah.
So with over 2,000 alums in Fairfax who are doing awesome things out there in the community, we really are more of an extended family. And if you are an alum of our organization, any program, I can guarantee you, if you reach out to an alum, they will return the call or the email. It's that strong of a bond that we all support one another and join together in the community.
Yeah.
A connection that will never break.
Yeah, it's an amazing. That's a great benefit from obviously participating in their program, and those relationships are just so strong. And to know that you can count on that, once you leave, it's like I said, it's a great thing for the community and then personal development, because people are going to usually stay here and grow. And it's just nice to have those connections and to be able to reach out and know that you're going to get that call back.
Absolutely.
Well, I know you guys are in the throes of your next program and filling up the class. So how do we tell people about getting in touch with you guys? What's the best way to do that?
So we are actively recruiting for the class of 2022. Hard to believe that it's right around the corner.
Yes.
Classes start in September. They're once a month. They're full day classes once a month, September through June. So we're recruiting right now. We are on a rolling acceptance basis, but I would just say if you're interested, apply now. Visit our website at leadershipfairfax.org and learn more.
And you guys will probably do some learning sessions as well, too.
We do. And, Angela, you and I have talked about this before. I really believe that to do a deep dive, like one of our programs, it's got to be the right time for you.
Yeah.
But if it is the right time, give us a call, check us out, because you won't regret it. And it has been life-altering for so many people. It really is a game changer.
So for my next guest, please welcome Mr. Craig Green, appropriate background.
Hey, how are you doing?
Green. Great. Craig is the owner of Team Logic IT, Reston and Tyson's.
And I am. How are you doing today? Thanks for having me.
Really, really great. It's great to have you. And Craig is one of my newest friends at the Reston Chamber. He joined just a number of months ago. First thing you do when you start your business, you got to join the Rustin Chamber. So good job.
Absolutely.
So Craig, welcome. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and kind of why you chose to work with this Team Logic IT organization? I'd love to hear people's backgrounds.
My dad was in the Air Force. So we moved up and down the East Coast my whole life. And then we stopped in Loudoun County in high school time. And I went back and forth. And then it finally came up to here for a full-time job when the first internet boom started.
Okay,
and I
worked so it was a while back.
Yeah, it was a while back. And then, worked for different enterprise companies in the telco space, the internet space for 20 years. And then finally went off on my own, decided I was like tired of asking people for a job and I was going to start my own business. So I went and
you know that feeling?
As you do. Yeah. As you do. I got myself a job in a business of my own business. So so I bought this franchise, started it in the beginning of the year or the end of the last year, 2020. And just trying to make it go and work. So,
yeah. Well, joining the chamber is the best thing to do to get involved in community, let people know what you guys are all about. So so tell us what do you guys do?
Well, it's like, we would say we take the pain out of the business, the computers you use to run your business, or we're your technology advisor. Or one guy says from the keys to the cloud, we do it all, right? Here's the keys. Up to the cloud, we do it all. And it's so broad that really it's about finding a set of solutions and tools and services that fit our individual clients' needs. So one client needs us to take care of the computers a lot, really remotely, locally. And then another client is wanting us to move their entire law practice up into the cloud, where they'll just everything will be up there and they'll stop paying for expensive servers on the premises, and end that cycle of maintenance and rebuilding and upgrades.
Well, what is the biggest challenge most of them are facing right now? Is it just being able to work virtually and now coming back to work?
I think a lot of people have adapted really well to virtual. We haven't figured out if we're all coming back yet. So I've been doing a lot of study and research about like what a return to office plans would be so that I could give those to other people. And it's not really my problem, but the IT part of it is really huge for people. And, you took that stuff out. Maybe it was a good use and a good fit when you left. Now, do you bring it back in? Will it reintegrate with your office? Or are you going to have to replace stuff? Or did you have a vendor that you were working with who managed to drop the ball mightily while you were out, and vulnerable during COVID? Yeah. So there's a lot of that. I've been saying it's about 3 to 1 for me. Customers who already have a relationship with a business like mine, and they're looking for a replacement because of bad service or, mismatch of needs and the troubles with, fit, and maybe they don't provide services for what they want to do next, right? Or the other ones are kind of like, we were doing it in-house. We were growing our own business internally. We had the guy in the back, who was doing, IT, plus he was the CFO and he had managed HR. And now he wants to get one task off his desk, and IT is a great fit because it's a weird skill set. And especially, when you talk about the threat landscape out there of all these ransomwares and data breaches and hacks, it's especially hard. Now. It's hard to keep up if you're not, living this work 9 to 5, 100%, right? So
I mean, you don't, and it's not even just for the large. Some people think, oh, I don't need it, I can do it myself, and then they're the ones who are most vulnerable, like a small business like myself. But like, who's ideal client for you?
Well, we like to talk about 10 to 50 person offices. Other firms will talk, other firms that we interact with, like a CFO firm, would say they're looking for, 1 to 20 million in bookings. Well, I'm looking really at headcount and how many people are using the computers that are in the offices and things that they need to take care of. And then, we can do, the backups or the recoveries but even if you needed a whole new VoIP, VoIP phone system, we can help you with that. Like I said, we can move you up into the cloud. I've got a client that's they're an old school client. They've been around in business in Northern Virginia here for actually 3rd generation. But one of her asks was take care of our computers, make sure that everything's working, and put my QuickBooks in the cloud because I really don't like
Yeah.
QuickBooks Online, and my local server failed. So that's kind of a hybrid, old school modern thing right off the bat. So there's a lot of things that can be done. And it's just really just this kind of conversation and discovery event where we learn what you want to do instead of trying to jam you into a little box that's what we want. So.
And we don't know what we don't know. So I think you guys being that technology advisors really helps you stand out. Hey, have this conversation, customize what you might need. And, obviously don't oversell, because some people think, oh, I've got to make this long-term commitment. I've got to move everything into the cloud, and, you don't, that's so scary. Yeah. So thankfully we have people like you that can best advise. So thank you for being a chamber member. It was great to have met you. Why'd you join the chamber?
Because
you've only been a member now for like a few months, right? When you started?
Yeah, I joined in November when I started the business. So now we're at almost 8 months. So, I knew that I needed. So, the traditional way of growing business wasn't going to really work very well. Door knocking or cold calling, because no one's in their offices, right? But on top of that, I just really knew that I needed to meet a bunch of people, and I needed to kind of, learn what other people are doing. So the chamber is great for, the networking aspect, but the really kind of cool things that I'm getting out of it are learning from other people how they do things and how they solve problems and how they approach problems, so that, you're not always trying to invent the wheel yourself from the beginning every time.
Right. And we're all business owners. We're trying to grow our business. So what are our challenges, and how can we support one another? And it is all about connections. I mean, you don't necessarily look at the chamber for your clients, although you can, very much so, but it's also partners and champions who, are selling to the market that you're also selling to. So,
it's just a lot of fun talking to people. That's kind of if someone asks me, what do you like about your job? He asked me this a couple of days ago. What do you like about your job most? And I was on a bad day. But I think the thing I really like about my job most is getting into conversations with people and learning about their business and figuring out, what's unique. Because this is my wife and I were talking about this the other day. It's like every business is different. It's sort of like every family is different. You have a family and you're in your family and you think it's just the way it should be. And then you realize that every other family is different. And it might take you half your life to figure this out. Businesses are the same way. Everyone's a unique little culture that's built itself up over time, and how it does things is important to it. So you can't go and say, oh, you're doing it all wrong, and you have to change everything because this is the only way it's going to work with our systems, because that's not really.
Well, it's not going to work for everybody, and that's going to turn people off. So, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you? We'll scroll up on the screen your website.
Yeah, so we have it's teamlogicit.com/Reston, Virginia. We'll get you to my page, which isn't a lot, or LinkedIn/in/CMACG. That's kind of where I'm really spending most of my time right now. So
awesome.
LinkedIn's a great space for good conversations in LinkedIn. So
agree. No, I totally agree. That's a great place for you as well. So, well, as I always say, the time flies when you're having fun. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being my guest today.
That was easy.
I know.
Thanks.
Yeah, not so bad. See, I'm pretty harmless. I don't ask the Oprah hard questions.
Well, maybe you should.
I'll think about it next time I interview you next year. All right, Craig, great to see you. It was great seeing you at the Mixer last week or 2 weeks ago. And I look forward to seeing you soon.